It's deadline day, and Manchester United have completed the signing of Marcel Sabitzer. What a signing for the Old Trafford mob. Arsenal, of course, today completing the deal for Jorginho, a left field, a shock signing in many people's eyes. And Chelsea, as we speak, are working hard to try and complete the deal for Enzo Fernandez. Lots to delve into on this show, including Hassan Mawar. Could there be a late move by Manchester United for him? We're going to be reviewing the top 6 teams, January windows in their entirety, and taking your calls on the show tonight. It's a deadline day special of the Done Deal Show. Let's go. And breaking news straight away, a report here from the secret scout that's been shared by Simon Phillips is that Enzo Fernandez is a done deal. Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea is being reported as a done deal. We know today there's been reports of medicals having taken place, anticipating the deal would be completed. There have been new reports from Fabrizio claiming that that isn't true. All day, the green light, the green tick to move this deal forward has been waiting. It's been a waiting game for Chelsea. And according to a report just out, the Enzo Fernandez deal is a done deal. And for me, this is someone here says, Terry, his reputation is on the line if this collapses. I mean, listen, there's a lot. Journalists always put their reputation on the line every single time they come out and they state they state something. But I'm just going to give you the reports that are out now. This is Enzo Fernandez, done deal, on his way to Chelsea, according to the secret scout. Now, Simon Phillips is credible. Simon Phillips is credible in the Chelsea fan base. The fact that he has shared this is very, very interesting indeed to me. So it's getting my juices flowing just looking at this deal coming through. Someone says, is he reliable? Simon Phillips is, and Simon Phillips has shared this. So it's going to be very, very intriguing to see how this deal pans out, how this deal goes, and what direction this goes in. But the secret scout, is a verified account. Let's see what happens with it. I want your views and I want your opinions, people. I'm just updating a few bits and pieces here because I'm just trying to make sure that I share this news correctly with you. I'm just reading it as I say. I literally went live and the news broke the second I hit the live button. So I do apologize for being ever so slightly behind in terms of talking to you, but make sure you're staying with us. Make sure you're hitting like buttons. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace and everything else that comes along with it. Make sure that's getting done. But it is being reported as a deal agreed for Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea, according to the secret scout. That's their claim that's being made. I'm just sharing that now on social media. Enzo, please, I can't take this anymore. You've got to take it. It's the nature of transfers. They're up, they're down, they're backwards, they're forwards. Let's see what happens. Enzo would be perfect. Listen, Chelsea need it to be a good window. They've had signed some brilliant players, but they need to improve that midfield dramatically. I think going through this window, signing 6, 7, 8 players and not bringing in a central midfielder, I think would leave some Chelsea fans feeling a sense of disappointment, even though there have been some brilliant deals. I think even though there have been some brilliant deals, it would leave some people with a sense of, could we have just got a few more over the line? Could we have done a little bit more? Could we have done a little bit more is I think what a lot of people will be asking themselves. I think they will definitely be out there posing that question. But Enzo Fernandez, done deal, according to the secret scout and Simon Phillips, who has, of course, shared this. And the reason I use Simon Phillips' name in that way is Simon Phillips is someone that I've had meetings with and spoken to. He's a trustworthy guy. He's a good guy. He's legitimately connected himself. So let's see how this pans out and how this progresses over the coming hours. Joel here says Jorginho to Arsenal. Lol. We'll definitely be touching on that later. As an Arsenal fan, I can't stand the social media hysteria crying for Edu out. We're top of the league with the youngest squad in the league. Our entitled, you're entitled to opinions, but it's so reactionary, is what Venkat has got to say here. It's done. Fabrizio saw something on his phone whilst he was live and kept tight-lipped. Yeah, I've got a feeling that it could. Listen, I've said all along, I think this deal's going to go through. I've said for a while now, but that I believe Enzo Fernandez will happen. It's also just been revealed. United, we already know United have signed Sabitzer. The journalists are kind of just doing the formalities. It's done. It is dusted. He is a Manchester United player. Marcel Sabitzer. Very, very happy with that deal. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on that. We have got a poll running on the channel for who has had the best transfer window so far. Chelsea smashing it with 80% of the vote. Arsenal with 12. United with 6. Spurs with just 1% of that vote. We'll be getting people on later to have their say on it. And, I think there's a few different spins here. I know who I think has won it and has had the best, but I think there's some honorable shout outs in this as well. I think there's definitely some honorable shout outs in there for this deal. I just said there, United end talks with Arsenal over potential world record sale. And I was like, what the hell? Talking about Rosso from the ladies team. I thought, what's going on there? They're trying to buy Rashford. That's the only player they'd be bidding record numbers for. We know that he's a fan of Rashford, but yeah, it's not anything to do with it. Terry, if Enzo doesn't come to Chelsea after the window closes, who is going to play that position when we've already sold Jorginho? That's why I think this deal is happening, my friend. I think if it got to the 11th hour and it wasn't done, Chelsea would pay what Benfica want. This deal is going to get done. I think it's going to get done. Fabrizio on his YouTube said the meeting is still going on. How can it be done? I don't want to sound rude about Fabrizio Romano, but football fans have got to stop hanging on his every word like he's the arbitrator of truth. There's been 4 or 5 deals where he's posted this season. Here we go. This January, and the players ended up signing for another club. He literally sat live on Mark Goldbridge's channel and said that Man United have got the deal in place for Gakpo. It's just up to them whether they bid now. Not a mention of Liverpool coming in. An hour later, he was a Liverpool player. Now, that's not a dig at Fabrizio. It means that he isn't the only one with information. What we always say on the terrace is listen to what Fabrizio said, but listen to what Simon Phillips says. Listen to what Ornstein says. Listen to what Dean Jones says. Listen to what Ben says, and make your own mind up. I would put this to you. You as a grown man, I'm assuming you're a grown man here. Putting all your faith in what one other person says is a madness. Listen to multiple people and then come to your own conclusions. To believe that unless one journalist says it, it can't be true. It's crazy talk, my friend. It's crazy. You're not a sheep. You're part of the terrace community, and we don't do sheep here. We don't do sheep here. I think that United are going to get another midfielder because you can't have all these inquiries. I just say, say will only take one. Bro, I hope this Awar deal is. I hope something comes out. I hope, like in the next hour, there's like a big, oh my god, the deal's in place. And remember, even Marcel Sabitzer is relatively under the radar. Nobody was talking about it. No one even mentioned it until it was basically done. And from the first journalist posting about it at Sky Germany to him being on a plane on his way over, it happened in about an hour and a half. No one had any idea. So I am hoping very much the same as you, Joshua Jack. I really am. Fabrizio is taking the piss about the deal. Watching the stream, he said he has a big update about it soon. And look, gassed secret scout will be right. Yeah, and listen, what I will say in defense of Fabrizio is, Terry, why are you assuming my gender? Because 99.2% of all football terrace viewers are male, based on what you all put on your forms. So I'm just assuming. I'm going to assume on that. Where I'll defend Fabrizio Romano is the bigger journalists tend to wait until it's over the line. Like, I literally tweeted at 4 minutes past 6 today that it was a done deal for Sabitzer. Fabrizio tweeted about 40 minutes later. I spoke to a journalist who said he was told it was done. I don't care about being wrong because I'm not trying to build credibility up as a journalist. So I just shared it. Do you get what I'm saying? Ornstein is brilliant, but it's because he's built such a good reputation of he waits till the end. He ain't the first guy to break it most of the time. Sometimes he's exclusive, but everyone waits on that word. But for me, if Fabrizio and Ornstein confirm what the secret scout has said in a minute, then don't wait next time for them to say it. Trust the secret scout. That's the way my brain works. You know, remember there's a journalist called Santi that everyone loves now. I was following that guy's tweets and that guy's news for months, and no one took it seriously until Fabrizio tweeted once, "Oh, this guy's great." Now everyone says he's great. Fabrice Hawkins, this guy's legit, especially on news out of France. He gets news out of France and French players quicker than any other journalist in Europe. And yet he tweets something, and the first I see it in the replies, Ornstein, can you confirm? Fabrizio, can you confirm? Don't disrespect Fabrice Hawkins like that. The man's legit. He's legit. 110%. I know you're just joking, my friend. I know you're only playing. So was I. I didn't mean it seriously. So yeah, it's one of them ones. KJ is going to be joining me in a few moments' time. But the breaking news, just as we went live, Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea is being reported, not by the football terrorists, I will add that, but by the secret scout as a done deal. As a done deal. Just to give you know about secret scout, like 88,000 followers. He's been on Twitter a number of years now. He's got a lot of big people that follow him. A lot of big people follow him. A lot of big people that I know, a lot of verified people follow that account as well. That's what's very interesting about it. A lot of verified people actually follow that account, and some credible people in the Chelsea community follow it. So there we go. Breaking news here. Stoke City are trying for a deal to sign Axel 21 Get it done. Get him out. Move him on. Bring that money in. Bring that money into Man United. That's what we need. That is what we need. United having no money and having deals not leak is much better for them. They have Todd B to thank for keeping transfers interesting going forward. Yeah, I mean, look, transfers will always be interesting for me. Fans are meant to speculate. Fans are meant to ask questions. Fans are meant to rant. Fans are meant to be happy. Fans are meant to get overexcited. Trying to hold fans to the same, like, credible levels as you're meant to hold journalists to is weird to me. I always love it when people go, "Oh, you're a fan channel. Why are you spreading misinformation? That deal you said might happen the other day didn't." I'm like, bruv, I know the deal didn't happen. I didn't say it was. I put the journalist name up there. Relax. We're fans. Let fans be fans. Let fans be fans. That's what I always say. And sorry, people keep sending me compilations of Sabitzer. Honestly, Sabitzer, look, Enzo is going to be the best deadline day deal when it's done. But Marcel Sabitzer is one of the best January signings this year. It really is. This guy is a baller. I'm so excited about it. I can't even lie to you. But the same with Arsenal getting Jorginho. I've always rated Jorginho. You've only got to go back and watch hundreds of streams where I've defended him. Seen everyone negative about it today. But I can't be because I rate him as a player and I don't hypocrisize myself like that. I think it's very, very good business from Arsenal. I do. Terry, you're a beast pal. What a hairline. And that's doing all right, you know. Doing all right. No product in it either today. It's doing all right. It's not doing bad. It's not, I'm nearly 40 as well. Like, got to remember that. I'm 37. I'm coming up 40. No grey. Barely a wrinkle. And I frown a lot. Considering how much I frown, I look all right. But that's because I cream. Use cream. Use cream. It's very good for your skin. The cream I bought the other day, though, I got it from a shop in Blue Water. I don't even know what the make is. It begins with KH. A bottle like this big and like this thick. Legitimately cost me £97. It's good, you know. It's rich. It's thick. Do you know what I mean? Keep them super chat coming. Man needs cream. But Enzo's going to be 100 million. Yossi Benayoun. I don't know about that. I don't know about that myself. I'm not too sure. Terry, United had 5 million to spend and ended up with two good players who fit Ten Hag like a glove. Not the best, but in the circumstances, it's very good business. Yeah, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. We're going to have Egal coming on. KJ's coming on. I'm not too sure who else is here. I'm waiting to another person. So we have four, so that's symmetrical. So I'm a little bit weird like that. And then I'm going to bring the boys out to have their say. We don't have anybody else is coming yet. We'll get. Oh, do you know who wants to come on and have their say, KJ? Brandon. Yeah, Brandon wants to come on. He's been messaging me today. I didn't message him back because man's busy. But yeah, that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. But this is your time now, people. I want to know what you think and feel. Where are my members at tonight? Where are my members at? I want to say a massive thank you. What a month it's been in January for the Football Terrace as well. I want to read this number out because you all made it possible. 5.5 million views, right? And just over 1.1 million hours of view time, and just under. And I'm actually annoyed we didn't quite make it. 10,000 new subscribers in the month, which is the best month the best month we've ever had on the Football Terrace. The best January, the best start to the year. So I want to say thank you to all of you that make that possible, and onwards and upwards for us from this point. My only little bugbear with you all is when it isn't news about your club, tune in still. Look at that. That's me trying to be healthy. And that looks nasty, but it's pretty nice, you know. Because I had another test come back today from the doctors. I've had some stomach issues, and I was very worried. And so far, all clear, which is good. But yeah, I'm still eating good. No alcohol. And not because I've got a problem, just because I was feeling a bit ill a lot. I think I had a problem with binge eating. I used to sit there after streams at night and eat like two boxes of Pringles and drink half a bottle of vodka and go to sleep. It's not good for your insides. that's when I told the doctor that, he's like, "That's probably a problem there, mate. Like, cut it out and eat good." There we go. I believe Jorginho is going to be a good signing, especially we are a ball dominant side. I hear you on that. Erik Ten Hag doing a bargain hunt madness, proper cheap as chips. 37. I thought you were 22. Oh, you old devil. You old devil there. You old devil. Chelsea obviously had the best transfer window. Yeah, but I want to know why. I'm not saying you can't say it, but I want to know why you think they did. Because I voted earlier on today that Spurs had the worst in the top six. Not because they've not done better than Liverpool in the short term, but I think that the way this window's gone for Tottenham, it's going to be the end of Antonio Conte. So therefore, the longer term ramifications are worse. Where with Liverpool, they're going to get new owners. They're going to go big in the summer with new owners, and Klopp's going to get backed. So it's bad, but it's only bad for this season. And Liverpool season's a write-off anyway. Liverpool ain't making the top four, even if they bought Jude Bellingham today. And Mbappe. I'm telling you, they ain't making top four. So I kind of get it, but I want to know why you think Chelsea had the best, as opposed to just saying Chelsea. I want a bit more nuance, please. I want a bit more detail. You feel we'll sign Aouar, Terry? No, personally, I don't think it will happen, but I hope it does. I hope it does. With every fiber of my being, I hope we bring him in. Especially because I got a lot of tweets saved from back when another club in England were linked with him, and everyone said what a baller he was. So I can't wait to make them all sit there and say how great he is. Ah, I love it. I'd say I save a lot of tweets. I've literally got a whole hard drive full of people's tweets and things people say just for posterity. I'm like, oh, I'll hold that there. I got tweets from like 2013 from people. Not that I go back and look, just I save stuff every month and put it all onto a hard drive and never get rid of it. Do you know what I mean? Just you got to keep it. You never quite know when you got to defend yourself. But there we go. That's a weird thing to say. Terry, Bellingham or Enzo, who would I say is better? Bellingham. I would, if I had the choice between the two, I'd sign you Bellingham. But Enzo's brilliant. I'm being you're nitpicking between the two. Enzo will be the most dangerous part of Chelsea with the attack. With the attack we've just bought. Do you know what, bruv? Like, again, I've never attacked anything Chelsea have done this window, last window. I think they're building something. But you suddenly look at all the players that have been purchased by Chelsea. It's colossal. It really is colossal. The amount of players and everything else. Wondering Dog here says Chelsea had the best window by far if they land Enzo. They addressed their need at centre back, right back, and the wings and midfield. They had issues at all spots, so they bought what they needed in quality. Yeah. I had a very busy day. This is my 5th stream on the Football Terrace, and I did an hour-long show for Bleacher Report earlier on today as well. So it's my 6th show of the day. As I always say, I will rest when I am dead, or when the kids are taken care of. Do you know what I mean? So my aim is I need to earn enough money to a point where if I die, my kids will never want, and I'm getting there. There is also insurance for that, but you never can quite trust on insurance companies paying out. What system will Chelsea play with 10 wingers? I don't know. That's a good super chat. I like that, bro. There's a new tweet that's out here. I'm gonna go and find it. Oh, what's it gonna say? I love it when it's like the mystery. Now my keyboard's too far away. I can't see it. Where's my Jacob? Jacob Steinbeck, my guy. What's he said? Wow, he has said. I'm gonna actually let me zoom in, and then I'll. Oh, dim low, Terry. Oh, that'll work. Let me zoom in a bit, and then let me share my screen. It's probably the easiest thing to do for you all. Here you can see it. Not long left, but sounds like Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea is moving in the right direction. That is according to one of the most credible journalists out there, especially when it comes to Chelsea news, football reporter for The Guardian, Jacob. I always say Steinbeck. It's Steinberg. I'm very, very sorry. I butcher his name every single time I speak. But there we go. Interesting indeed. Right. Egal and KJ coming out to join me now on the show. Make sure like buttons are being hit. Make sure you are smashing the like and share button for us. Welcome, gentlemen. It's been an epic day, really, for a final day of a January window. And probably, in fact, probably the best January window ever. Because half these deals, KJ, started when we were in Doha. We were talking about these deals and there was excitement about them. But I want to get opinions first of all. Egal, Jorginho has come in. Actually, no, we won't do that because Brandon might be on his way, so I'm going to wait for him because he wants to talk about that as well. Marcel Sabitzer to Man United from Bayern Munich. What is your take on that, young man?
He's a good player, and he's different to Eriksen. So you're gonna have a different type of midfield now, a little bit stronger defensively. He's not as creative, but he's more of a goal scorer. So you're gonna have more of a goal threat from him. But yeah, a quality player, and to get him so quickly, like I didn't even think you guys were linked to him a couple days ago, and you just got it done very swift. So that's credit to you guys getting your deal done quite quickly. There's no insult there. Just let's see how he does coming over from the Bundesliga to the Premier League.
How do you think he'll do?
It depends. Honestly, I don't know how Ten Hag's going to use him. Is he going to use him as an alternative to Bruno, or is he going to play him and Bruno and Casemiro together? We're going to have to wait and see. I honestly don't know if he's
Y-
going to
You
see
know,
him
you
as
know,
a
Egal,
creative
Egal,
player. I don't
you
know.
know
I
how he's going to
honestly
be
don't know.
used. You do. Yes, you do, my friend. You know who's
No,
coming
I
in to
honestly don't.
replace
I don't
Ericsson.
watch United as much as you guys do, so you probably have a better guess on how he's going to use him. But from my perspective,
But no, the
he
reason why I
could
say
be
you
utilized in
know,
the Ericsson role, and he could also be
no,
utilized as a Bruno alternative.
yeah, but yeah, you're not a dumb man. The reason why I say you know is because you've been on Twitter all day, every day for the last how many months now. You've been seeing what's been going on, and you've seen the reports. All the reports are saying he's here because of Ericsson. Because of the Ericsson injury, he is here. So that can only indicate one thing. He will be playing in the midfield with Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. He won't be sitting on the bench to wait to play with these players, or he's not going to be used as a bench player for Bruno. He's here to play in that double pivot with Casemiro. And he's been playing double pivot for a long time. If you look at his time at RB Leipzig, if you look at when he plays for Bayern Munich, that's where he goes. So we know where he's going to fit in. We know where he's slotting him. And I think it's shrewd business. I think it's a very good signing, especially for the position that we need. He actually he actually has attributes for that role better than Ericsson. If you think about it and look at how the way he plays, his engine, his physicality, his athleticism, his ability to go and score a goal, but also he's not a dead player who can't see nothing. He's got a good vision, he's got a good technical ability. Otherwise, Ten Hag wouldn't want him. So yeah, I think he is slotting into that double pivot role with Casemiro, and the fact that Casemiro can also play make, and he's also being able to show that his passing range and he's got an eye for line breaking pass. I'm okay with someone like Sabitzer, who may not be as creative Ericsson, being in that role with him because both of them can do the job together. They can take it in turns. I know defensively, if Casemiro goes forward, Sabitzer will be able to cover him easy. So yeah, man, I think it's a very good signing, and it helps us a lot. It helps us a lot. We've been needing something like
Yeah,
this
definitely
this
yes.
January, and we've got it. I'm surprised myself.
When were you first linked to him? Because this happened so quickly.
Today.
Today.
Crazy. I didn't even know he was available.
But no one did. You know what I mean? But sometimes you just gotta ask. Sometimes you just gotta ask. Apparently, we was looking at what you call it? We was looking at Gravenberch as well, and we they said no, they didn't want to get. Yeah, they didn't want to let him go, even though he's barely played. He's played less than Sabitzer this year, but they said no.
Yeah.
So clearly, during this conversation, it's like, yo, we're willing to let Sabitzer go. Would you want him? And looking at the profile of player, Ten Hag and the team and the club said, you know what? Yeah, this is a good player. This is a player that can help
We were
us.
linked to him. The reason why I say this, we were linked to him 2 years ago, and I remember when he was playing at, I think RB Leipzig, he was very much like a guy who would get you 6 or 7 goals, 6 or 7 assists in any given season in a league campaign. So if he can even do anything close to what he did at RB Leipzig, you guys got yourself a decent replacement.
Well, Liverpool wanted him as well. Liverpool
Yeah,
looking at him.
Liverpool
Ram in the group chat is seething right now because he was crying out for Sabitzer.
How Liverpool leave this window with less signings than you guys is crazy.
We love to see
I mean, it's Liverpool. I mean, they did sign Gakpo, so they have signed somebody, but it was so early on, you kind of forget about that now. City's is weird because City they've let Cancelo go and sign nobody. So on paper, they've weakened themselves, unless he's been a problem in the dressing room. So if he's been a problem in that dressing, yeah, they could be stronger with a problem player leaving. It sounds like he may have been becoming a bit of a problem. Spurs have signed Danjuma and Porro, two deep, like one good player, and then one decent player. So, hi David, how you doing, mate? So the Spurs have done all right, but I don't know how it's going to work with Conte, the future of the club, and everything else. But low key on Man United, for £5 million, Weghorst and Sabitzer to the end of the season, both with options to buy, not obligations. I think looking at our situation, where it's already been detailed that in the summer there's going to be a mass exodus of about 8 players. The club will have new owners with a very big Todd Bowley-esque budget once the debt's cleared and everything else. I think it makes sense. Now, if they come in and do really well, and I've actually been really impressed with Weghorst in the first 3 games, I look at him and just think, you are exactly what we need from that bench. You're exactly the kind of player and profile that we need from a bench, because you're never going to be that worried about not starting for a club like Man United if a player like a Harry Kane or an Usherman is in front of him. And with Sabitzer, his move to Bayern Munich was meant to be when he went to that next level. And for one reason or another, it just hasn't worked. But a few Bayern Munich fans were on the show earlier today, and they just basically said, he's a good player. They like him. There's just too many midfielders at their football club. And it's, you've got to remember, like, he's competing for places with the likes of Leon Goretzka, who is top quality. And it's not a slide on his name that he can't get into the team. It's just that there's too many quality players in that area, and that's what happens at some of these big clubs over a period of time. Casemiro wanted to leave Real Madrid, even though he was as good as he was. The club were like, right, we've got Camavinga and Tchouaméni that we need to start developing for the future. You throw that in with Toni Kroos and Modric, he wasn't going to make it into the team, not because he wasn't good enough now, but there's sometimes these things throw up nice, perfect opportunities. And I think United have done really good business. I'm proud of what we've done. And yeah, listen, I'm excited about the rest of the season now. I was very nervous when I heard about Eriksen, because the thought was, who's going to progress the ball through the middle? Fred's good at running around, winning the ball back, marking people, scores a few goals. McTominay, he's tall. Do you know what I mean? And then you've and then you've kind of got like Bruno that plays further up the pitch. I don't want Bruno deep. Casemiro by himself with those guys, he was going to struggle. We now have someone, it may not work. Maybe it doesn't. But we now have someone that can progress the ball like Christian Eriksen does. And as long as he doesn't flop in the Premier League and not adapt to our league, I'm excited about it, and at least we got some covering, because normally we miss out.
Terence Nicolo Chara. Is that spell his name?
Yeah.
Say his name? He's tweeted, done deal and confirmed Enzo Fernandez from Benfica to Chelsea from Benfica for 120 million euro, contract until 2030.
2030?
Yes.
David will be my age.
A year.
That's mad. When Chelsea stop paying for these players, David's going to be my age. That's what's crazy.
I might have a child at that point.
Or Chelsea said we're doing up players, but we're paying by Klarna. That's what they're doing, man. The man said, "Yo, let's do the Klarna transfers." Flipping hell,
Crazy.
2030.
Yeah, that deal looks like it's coming in. I thought you were going to say Huar's on his way to Man United, but
no, listen, that's wait. I was still talking about Man United. Listen, we're not getting no one else. I was hoping for a while, even the Kamada links. I was like, yo, give me something. Get coverage for Eriksen going. We need backup to Bruno. We do need like another midfielder in like attacking sense. A Kamada would have filled that role because Donny van de Beek is injured. It ain't happening. But you know what? I can't ask for anything more. Man United signed a deadline day signing, which is good. So,
which we don't normally do. This
Yeah.
here says United with. Let me just. I want to just change this for a second until 1 sec, boys. Sorry, I just want to change this until I've got another person in the show. United with some very savvy buys. Chelsea juggernaut rolls on. How long to gel? I feel so underwhelmed by J5. My Chelsea mate is crying on the floor. And we will move on to talk Jorginho very, very soon. Brandon is now here with us. There we go. Nice and symmetrical. I like it now on the show. And that brings us on that. I mean, we've got a new poll running now, which is best top 6 signing of this window. And the options I put in there, of course, I spelt this wrong. I put the S and the I the wrong way around, but who cares? I put Sabitzer, Trossard, Mudryk, Jorginho as the options. Currently, Mudryk is winning with 46%, Trossard second with 30%, Sabitzer with 19%, and Jorginho 5%.
J5. You know what I mean?
J5.
I'm surprised you didn't put Joao Felix in there as well, Terry.
Yeah, I went with permanent signings. You only put 4 options in. I went
Terry, he's J20 now.
Oh yeah, he's J20 now.
That juice, boy.
But how are you, Brandon? How are you feeling about that deal?
Massively underwhelmed. Massively underwhelmed. I just think it's incompetence by Arsenal again. You know, if I asked any Arsenal fan, including myself, if you could only buy one player in January, which position would you invest in? And
sorry to interject. I'm very sorry. Breaking news here from Simon Johnson, another very credible Chelsea journalist from The Athletic. He has just tweeted and said, "It's time. The time has come for deal sheet chat." So Enzo Fernandez is drawing closer to his Chelsea move. Sorry, back over to you, Brand. Sorry, mate.
That's all right. Yeah, it's just underwhelming, Terry. I just think it stinks of negligence again by Edu and whoever does our negotiating. Because if I asked any Arsenal fan, including myself, if you could only get one player over the line in January, which position would you invest in? We'd all have sit here and said Thomas Partey's position. We need somebody who can cover for Thomas Partey. If Thomas Partey gets injured, we're in big trouble. And of course, with the Caicedo deal, it's difficult to get done and that. But I think it's made even more difficult by the fact that we left it so late. Why? That's my question. Clearly the midfield wasn't a priority for the club, but for the fans, it was. Going into the January transfer window, midfield was a major priority. But it's clear that the club didn't have that down as a major priority because otherwise they wouldn't have moved for Mudryk to begin with. Even though, in my opinion, yes, we needed cover in that area, but was it as desperate as what we need for Thomas Partey? I don't think so. But then on the other hand, Egal made this point to me earlier. We've entered the transfer window with Lokonga as our backup, and we've left the transfer window with Jorginho as our backup and Lokonga out on loan. So, to a degree, it's an upgrade in that area of the pitch. But I still worry, bro. I still worry that if Thomas Partey gets injured, our season could fall apart because Jorginho and Thomas Partey are in no way, shape or form similar in terms of their attributes and what they can do on the pitch. Thomas Partey is a very powerful, combative midfielder who not only does the progressive part of the game very well, but the defensive side of things as well. And I just think Jorginho, yeah, he can control a midfield. He will dictate the play, but defensively is where I worry for him. And you know, that's all I'm going to say on that one. It's just, it is what it is. It's typical Arsenal, bro. You know, we do this every single season. We manage to do one of these deals, and it's what worries me more than anything else about this deal is we've done what 6 deals now with Chelsea for Chelsea players. Every single one of them that we've brought in have been towards the back end of their career, and not a single one of them has worked out in the way that we wanted them to work out. Willian was, just an awful deal. David Luiz, you could say he did okay at Arsenal, but we need better than okay. We're supposed to be a big club. Petr Cech again, yeah, okay. William Gallas was a disaster. Like, how many more times is the football club going to do this before they learn their lesson? Do you know what I mean? It's just, and you can't sit there and tell me that there isn't alternatives either. I was saying about Sofiane Amrabat, the Moroccan midfielder who had an absolute stormer of a World Cup. Looked like today that he was going to go to Barcelona. Barcelona couldn't get that deal through because of their financial fair play. Why couldn't we go and get him? He's a player that, has no Premier League experience, for example, but he's more suited to the role that Thomas Partey plays. I'd feel more comfortable knowing that if Thomas Partey had to spend any sort of length of time out, that this guy was coming in rather than Jorginho. It don't make much sense to me, mate.
I want to ask this. I want to go to Egal for this question as well, or first. Like last night, I saw a lot of Arsenal fans angry. Today, and look, Lee Gunner pointed this out to me, and it made a lot of sense. Ornstein tweets that this was all basically the love child of Arteta, and Arteta pushed for it. And now suddenly there's I'm okay with it now. Is it not? I mean, how do you feel a day later, Egal? Are you still feeling disappointed? Are you still thinking actually you should have just bid more money for Caicedo, or you could have gone for? Yeah, there's seemingly other midfielders that are available. Man United have signed a midfielder that many deem to be as good, if not better, in Sabitzer. And I'm going by the amount of Arsenal fans who have tweeted me today saying, I wish we'd hijack your Sabitzer deal. So I'm just going by what they've said as opposed to my opinion. How are you feeling about it today, Egal?
I don't view Sabitzer as a DM. We'd be in the same position, and we just have a player who Mikel Arteta wouldn't be accustomed to or suited to. Yes, Mikel Arteta does like the player, and that might be a factor. But the main thing that makes me say, you know what, this deal makes more sense is you look at the contract size. The contract length is a year and a half. 18 months. Realistically, we get the player in. He doesn't do well from now until the end of the season. We can move him on in the summer. We still have a year left on his contract. And even if he does do well from now until the end of the season, and we potentially do go on to win the Premier League, we have an option to keep him for the remainder of his for his contract, and then one more year. So personally, it's not that bad of an issue in my opinion. When it comes down to going for Caicedo, I would have preferred if we went for Caicedo. I still would have hoped that we would have made more of an effort to sign Caicedo, but it seems like that they didn't want to sell, and maybe we just weren't willing to go to the ridiculous prices that they wanted us to pay. Personally, I didn't care. I felt like Caicedo was the better potential, the player that was a long-term signing, and we kind of broke our mold to just get somebody in. But at this moment in time, it's not who Arteta likes, it's who Arteta was willing to accept coming in late in the window. And I don't think there was anybody else that they were looking at that they were willing to accept to come in. I'm not now going to sit here and bash Jorginho signing. Yes, I didn't want him, but at the end of the day, he's here and I'm going to back him. And at the same point, I'm not going to be one of those people who are going to be like, you know what? Start gassing him up, hyping him up. He's a serviceable player. He's a Premier League proven player who's won the the Euros. He's won the Champions League. He's won, I think, the Europa League even with Chelsea. He's got a lot of silverware under his belt, and that's some added experience we can bring to the table. A reasonable deal. And you know what? It's nowhere comparable to the situation we found ourselves in when we're bringing in Willian, David Luiz, or any of these guys. Because when we brought them in, they all started right away. Jorginho's not coming in to start right away. He's coming in as a backup, and I'm okay with that.
So what made you change your mind then? Because obviously yesterday on the stream when the
I
news
just said
broke,
it.
you yeah, but again the contract length as an example. But I'm not talking about the fact you can get rid of him in the summer or not. I mean, you got rid of William pretty quickly. He had a long-term deal that was worth huge money, and you still were able to get rid of him. What I'm asking about is every player in the world is for sale if you're willing to pay the right price. So with Caicedo, and the point I'm making is, do you think this is enough to get you over the line to win the league? Because for me, that's what Arsenal fans should be focusing on, not the kind of micro arguments around sort of, yeah, but this is better business. We can move him on in the summer. We can go again. And you know, as long as Caicedo doesn't join Chelsea, we can go again in the summer. We'll be in the Champions League. We'll have more money. It's okay. We can wait 6 months. Do you think this is a good enough sign-in? Also, with Lokonga leaving, you have improved your backup. There's no doubt. But with Lokonga leaving and earning out, you've basically got 3 fit midfielders. Is it good enough business, in your opinion, to now win the league?
First of all, Lokonga is useless. Absolutely useless when it comes to the final end of the season. I've already told you guys this numerous times. Lokonga needed to be loaned out. He was not going to benefit us in the Premier League or in the Europa League come the business end of the season. So in that aspect, Lokonga wasn't going to help us. Keeping Lokonga and not signing nobody, we'd be in a worse position. Of course, I would have liked us to go sign Caicedo. Of course, I would have wanted us to go spend more money. We didn't do it. What am I going to do? Am I going to go cry about it? Terry, at the end of the day, this team is quality enough.
The team is quality enough. But
I'm going to answer your question.
Answer it then, please.
I'm answering it. You're just not letting me get to my point. Okay. Then if we go from here, forget about ifs and buts. We're quality enough at this moment in time where we are to get to where we are with the team that we have. We're adding an experienced midfielder who's already won a lot of trophies and adds more experience to this team, and he's only going to help us at this point. So we're only going to get better from here. I'm not thinking that we're not going to drop off. If anything happens from here on out, the only thing that we can say is it's our fault, and it has nothing to do with Jorginho or not signing thing. So I'm not going to look back at this moment and say, "Oh, we should have signed."
So in your opinion, if you don't win the league now, you don't think if you would have bid extra money and paid better contracts, if you'd have signed Mudryk, say you don't win the league, you don't think the idea of missing out on Mudryk, missing out on João Felix, and missing out on Caicedo would have any significance at all?
First of all, your first question you didn't mention Mudryk, and
okay, but I'm talking about your transfers in general, and the reason I bring them in is because you've just said that what's happened with Jorginho and Caicedo is going to have no bearing on your season. It's just going to be on your team's fault. But the point is, you can add extra quality to your team, and you're making it sound. And again, I'm not arguing with you. I'm trying to understand exactly what you mean, because you talk in riddles sometimes, or maybe it's because I don't
saying what you're saying.
Or maybe I just don't have the brain capacity to understand you. What I heard was you've just said that Jorginho or Caicedo, there's no difference, and if we don't win the league, it's nothing to do with the January window. Or did I mishear that?
No, I fully said to you, I would have preferred Caicedo, but the fact that we got Jorginho at this moment in time, there's no difference. We still go as business as usual. I still believe we can win the league. I'm not saying, I'm confused, Terry. What's your point? Are you trying to get a got you moment? What is it?
No, I'm trying to understand, because my question was, are you confident winning the league with this deal? The answer should have been, yeah, I'm still confident with this deal. But you went on a long speech, and the way it sounded at the end was, it's not about the transfers, it's about whether the team is good enough or not. And it sounded as if you were saying, and what I'm trying to do is not catch you out. I'm trying to understand what you mean, because you lost me, bruv. It sounded like. So let me just finish. Let me finish.
Right now.
No, hang on a minute, because you're interjecting. You don't know what I'm going to say. I asked. It sounded like you said. So sounded like doesn't mean you said. It means sounds like you said that this transfer has no bearing on the outcome of the season.
I'm saying going back and looking back at it shouldn't be the thing. We shouldn't be reminiscing on something that we missed out on. Based on where we are right now, we should still be able to be confident enough to go on and win the league. That's all I'm saying.
Sorry, Brent. So you are saying that this is not significant?
What are you talking about?
So I need someone else to interject here. Am I missing that, or am I right? I don't know. I feel like I'm being horrible. Like, he's saying there's no significance in this deal.
No, I'm literally saying if we didn't, the fact that we didn't get Caicedo and we got Jorginho, I'm still confident we're going to win the league. Hence why I'm saying I'm not going to be revisionist history and go back and cry about it later on.
Yeah, but Terry's question
Okay,
is,
so-
wait, was it? Sorry. Terry's question is, if you don't win the league, do you think this will be one of the reasons why? If you don't win the league,
No, because there's
we
going
know
to
you
be
think
other
you're gonna win.
factors. It's not going
So
to
you-
be.
No,
We're not going to look back at this.
but Terry's acting. Is this going to be a factor? Is that of the many factors that could happen? Is the fact you haven't signed a replacement that's sufficient enough to replace Thomas Partey? Is that going to be one of the factors?
Listen, we know that we've signed a player that's a different profile, similar to how Manchester United just signed Sabitzer, who's a different profile to Eriksen. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to fit in right away, but at the same time, they're a backup. They're not a starter. As long as
Let me ask you this then, Egal.
As long as
Egal,
Partey doesn't get injured.
Sorry, Egal. The difference is we weren't going for Frankie De Jong and ended up with Sabitzer. Sabitzer is literally a backup option on loan because of an injury that we've got. You were going for a long-term Caicedo deal worth 70-odd million. You've ended up with a much cheaper alternative and a very different style of player. I'm asking, are you happy enough with that? And do you think it's enough, along with Trossard and along with Jacob, to now win the league? The answer is yes, then just say yes to it. You saying it has no bearing in significance?
Yes, 100 times.
But you didn't. But you said that this won't be a factor, and it's about whether the team's good enough. I'm not going to look back in history and say, actually, we should have signed better players. If that's the case, then there's no need to even worry about transfers. All transfers in summers and Januaries have impacts on how well our teams play. Come on, man. You know this.
Of course, it will be a factor, Terry, man.
Simple yes
Let me
or
ask
no.
you this again, right? Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
If Thomas Partey was to get, if Arsenal was to tweet right now, yeah, Thomas Partey is out for 2 months. Are you confident that Jorginho can come in and do what Thomas Partey has been doing for Arsenal without any major drop off in our win percentage and performances?
No, because
so of course it plays a factor then.
No, because you're going to change the way you play.
Egal saying, regardless of what happens with the Partey being injured, Jorginho and Partey are not the same thing. So effectively, those factors don't line up. I think that's what you're trying to say.
I get that, but that isn't the factor I'm focusing on. The focus is this: your club has decided to not pay whatever they needed to get Caicedo. Caicedo is more of a match, right, to Partey. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So the point is, now you don't have a match for Partey. The reason you wanted another midfielder is replacement for Partey. So now that you have to play, and if you have to change the way you play, and you end up not winning the league, then of course this is a factor.
If that's the reason why we don't win the league, how am I going to predict the future?
You Arsenal fans have all said, but you Arsenal fans have all, and that's fine. You said yes, that would have been it. But you then followed up with a yes by saying, I don't think signing Jorginho is a factor. But then you say that if we have to play him, we have to change our style of play. Why would Arsenal change their style of play that dramatically and not be at risk of the game wrong?
Let me just say this clearly. Yes, if we would have signed Caicedo, it would have been better. B, if the fact that we didn't sign Caicedo, we now got Jorginho, so we're going to have to play a different style. C, he's not my preferred option, but at this moment in time, he's here, so I'm gonna back him. And then finally, are we still comfortable enough where we can win the league? Yes, but can I predict every single issue that's gonna happen going forward? No. Hence why I said at this moment in time, I'm still confident we can win the league. Period. And I should be.
You know what?
Fan should be.
I don't understand how you as well, Egal, Arsenal fans are so relaxed. Yeah? We're 5 points clear of Manchester City, right? We've been the best team in the league so far this season. But we're still in the same position that we was before the January transfer window opened. Now the January transfer window is closed. We're all sitting here saying we are one Thomas Partey injury away from it all falling apart. Jorginho doesn't change that. Jorginho doesn't change that, bro. Yeah?
Yes, he does.
How?
We went from having to play Lokonga in the midfield to an experienced midfielder who helped his team win a Champions League, a friggin' Europa League, and winning a friggin' Euros. And you're telling me we are in the same position that we were prior to the window. That is
No, but
delusional, my friend. We've now signed 3 players. That is,
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and just defend everything because I don't honestly believe in the back of my mind that Thomas Partey and Jorginho are the same player. But Jorginho can put a role. You put him in that position, he can put a role in. That's all I'm saying.
Can I just interject just real quick, KK?
I need to ask him a question because you just said minutes before that if Jorginho plays, we have to change the way that we play to get the best out of him, right? If he's replacing Partey, we have to change the way. What if the way that you play changes and it doesn't work with Jorginho?
Took the words right out of my mouth, KJ.
No, what then? You're saying you're not worried because you've got an experienced player. No, but no one's asking you to predict the damn future. We're asking you just to say how you feel about a certain thing. You've just said, I'm not worried because we've got Jorginho now, but then in the same breath, you've also said we change the way have to change the way that we play if he comes in. So what if he changes? What if you have to change the style of play that's working with Partey? How can you not be worried? Because that change might not work.
My concern is about Jorginho's defensive ability. That's it. And with that concern, I hear where Brendan's coming from. But with that, you have to change the way you play. At this moment in time, Thomas Partey and Odegaard are the deepest 2 midfielders, right? And the reason why we do that is because Odegaard helps Thomas Partey progress the ball a lot more and picks up the ball from Thomas Partey. Once Jorginho comes in, we're going to change the whole way we play with the midfield 3. That's just how it's going to happen. When you have different parts, you're going to play different ways. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad. That's it.
And Egal, I agree with that. And by the way, on the deal, I think it's a decent bit of business in the sense of I really rate Jorginho. I think he's a good player, and I still think Arsenal can go on and win the league. However, what I was alluding to is if it goes wrong, though, and this is the same with any deal, any club, if Chelsea have bought all these, you've made this point about Chelsea. Chelsea have bought all these players. If it doesn't work for 2 or 3 years and they've got to sell off these guys, financially, even with these new owners, they're in trouble because they can't spend like this again because they've got to pay this off over the next 7 or 8 years. There's a risk with everybody's business. And I'm just kind of asking you, because you've gone in a completely different direction, what those risks are, how you feel about them. The only bit that you said that for me stood out as strange is you're not going to look back and sort of try and rewrite history because this isn't really a major part of it. And I think clubs' transfer signings are a huge part of our progression. It's a bit like saying Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko have no significance on the development of your team this year. And when signings are good, they improve your team. When signings are bad, your team can go backwards. Both things are true at the same time. And all we're really asking for...
Do you think this is a bad signing, guys?
I don't, personally. I don't.
Okay, so
what's with the I'm confused. For me, I think it's enough. I think if you compare it to
Sorry, Ram, I'll go back to you in a minute. No one's badgering you, Egal. You said this deal will have no significance on the outcome of our season. That's why we're badgering you.
It will have no significance on my thoughts on winning the league.
Why? That's mad.
Because I think we can still win.
Because when you sign Trossard, you said he'll get us over the line to win the league. So when you sign a player you're like, yeah, this guy could win us the league. How can this signing have no significance on you winning the league? That's the bit I'm pulling on. Not your opinion on J5.
I already thought we were going to win the league without him. Now that we have him, we're in a better position.
That makes sense. That makes sense then. So therefore, why were you angry yesterday that you didn't get Caicedo over him? That's what doesn't make sense.
Because I'm looking at the future. I'm not looking. I thought this guy was going to sign a 3-year contract and we're going to be stuck with him. Now we're not stuck with him. We don't have him on a long-term contract. We can bin him off in a year. I don't mind it. If it doesn't work in a year, in 5 months, he's gone. If it works, we have him for a long term and I'm happy.
Can I just say,
sorry, guys. The breaking news. PSG have reached the agreement with Chelsea to sign Hakim Ziyech on loan until the end of the season. David, one of your guys is finally going.
He can get gone. Jesus Christ, what an enemy of progress. He's useless. Useless. Honestly, get rid of him. I'm so annoyed that Gallagher didn't if Gallagher had left, Gallagher leaving is better business than Enzo. Again, we'll get into this. I'm not a big fan of Enzo, but we move. But Gallagher leaving, would have made me so happy. That would have made me so happy, but he's still here. But Ziyech going, that's one of the 3 ops gone. So it's cool. That's cool. We'll take it. Let him go to PSG. He can ball out. He can do all his little, I can cross the ball in with one left leg, and then he can stink up the gaff and only win a Liga. It's fine. It's fine. Let him go.
Yeah, Ziyech has got to go. Ziyech has just never done it. What the Ziyech we saw at the World Cup just isn't the Ziyech that you see that you see at Chelsea. Sorry, Ram, you were saying something before I interjected. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, I just on the Caicedo Jorginho thing. I think if Arsenal had signed Caicedo, I think the league would have been guaranteed to Arsenal, in my opinion, because of the fact that he's quite similar to Partey and the fact that he is of a quality that if Partey was to get injured long term, he would come in and slot in like a glove, and there would be no major change to Arsenal. I don't see how. I think this could play a part in the title race, in the fact that I'll cast your minds back to 2013-14. We could have signed either Salah or Konoplyanka, and we didn't, and then we lost the league to Manchester City. This could have the same effect. It could. I don't want to hear anyone say this will have zero effect, because we know what Man City are like. We know that they love to go in their little 10-game winning streak. When they smell blood, and they catch up. That's how they are as a club, and that's how they've been for the last 5 years.
I just look at it from this point of view. All I heard in the build-up to this window from Gooners was we need to improve the squad in January, and the signings we make will be what will push us over the line to get the transfer. Now I'm hearing from some Arsenal fans, not all, I think we're going to win it irrespective, or we weren't going to win it irrespective, or this deal isn't that important. That's just it's a changing of the narrative. And I don't care about people changing the narrative. You're allowed to. All I'm trying to do is ascertain why. And the first time I asked you, Egal, like, what do you mean it won't be significant? You said I didn't say that. In the end, you said because I'm actually looking at the future more than I was looking at anything else. If that would have been your response, that would have probably saved us about 10 minutes. I was just confused by what you meant by it won't be significant. There's a super chat here.
We've already signed. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. Please don't use Egal yardstick to measure Arsenal fans. If Arsenal don't win the league from this point, Edu has to leave the football club. Sorry, Egal, you were going to say something before that, and then we'll go to Brandon on this super chat about the Edu bit, not about the Egal bit.
You already addressed it. No
worries. Check for Romano.
Okay, I'm checking now. What's being said? He looked excited. So I'm hoping it is what I want it to be.
It's not our to Man United.
Here we go. Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea is a done. I'm going to do this properly, actually. I'm going to do it properly. Here we go. Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea is a done deal. That is a done deal. Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea. So it looks like the secret scout was right all along. Now, remember, I told you don't need to wait for the big boys to say it. You can trust the origination journalists always on these things. But Chelsea will sign Enzo Fernandez from Benfica. And it's here. The agreement has now been reached. I bet it wasn't reached just now. I bet it was reached about an hour ago. Important. Clubs running to get the document signed before the end of the window. They always get signed. Don't worry about it. They don't use fax machines anymore. Boarding. It says boarding set to be complete to London. He keeps tagging Turkish Airlines in this. But Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea is a done deal. It is over the line. It is 110% complete. What are we saying about this, people? He is a Chelsea player that takes their spending to 600 million euros. 600 million
David,
euros.
You're going to find a way to trash on this deal because you don't like man. So I'm going to let you go last because this is this is mad. This is absolutely mad. Todd Bowley is a certified G. He is a top G. To quote Andy Tate, you know what I mean? I don't support him.
Terry, play the have hope. This clip,
listen,
man. You have to play.
Oh yeah, play it, bruv. Play the clip.
It's not on this set.
No. I'll have to imitate. Todd B. Oh, listen, Todd B. This guy is crazy. What I love about what Chelsea have done is they've said, forget this whole 2, 3 year, 4 year rebuilding, 3 signings here, 2 signings there, 4 signings here. They said, no, let's do this in one summer. Not even a summer. Let's do this in one jam because there's no rules against doing this. There's no rules in the world of football that says in January you can only sign 2 to 3 players, and they must be hard to sign, or there must be a loan. They only can get capped at this amount. No, there's no rules that says that. Todd B said, you know what, yeah, because there's no rules, let's play with no rules. Man's gone in there, signed some of the best young talent in Europe in one fell swoop. And he's exploited the loopholes with the amortization, the contracts, the big deals over long periods of time. And you know what, yeah? It's so brazen. I respect it. I remember at the start of the window, I was very questioning, like, is this the kind of deal that you want to start off your big rebuild with Potter? But the way that the transfer window has gone, it's clearly their strategy. And I'm just, you know what, yeah? I'm over it. I don't care. Fair play to them, because no one else saw this. No one else knew you could do this. And they have taken the courage and has the bollocks to try it, and they've succeeded. I respect it. What a signing.
110%. The way Chelsea have gone about their business is phenomenal. They've broken so many things that you never thought would actually happen within football. It's a phenomenal signing as well, by the way. Enzo Fernandez is 110% legit. Yes, he's young, and yes, there's a lot of the development that's needed, but this guy is so talented. He really, really is. And Chelsea fans should be over the moon. If we sign Caicedo, we would still sign Jorginho for backup. That's actually probably true. What's going to be interesting now to see if Chelsea do go for Caicedo as well, or whether they've been working.
1 hour left.
Bruv, you never know. You never know. A lot of people here, Enzo Fernandez, here we go from Fabrizio Romano. That's in. But remember, the secret scout was the first guy to say it was done. So well done, Fabrizio. But somebody was an hour ahead of him. Go follow that account. That's what you should do. Stop being sheep. Todd Banks is what Dennis has got to say here. There's a few more super chats that have come through. MALSL and M could not play like T5 either. T20 is better in attack. I'm happy. And the window, the optics are what is killing historical Gunners, is what D has got to say here. Let's have a look at this super chat. Chelsea's team song, Cream by Wu-Tang Clan. How am I scared of City when their players are trying to fight Pep? Gomez at left back. They did no business. Arsenal win the league by 10 points is what's being said. That's a big claim, but I like the chest. Who's that?
Begdad the Egg Valley. That's the one of the owners.
And Todd B asks, Todd B, you say yes, is what he's saying there. Who cares who you sign if Potter is your manager? Oh, that's a bit harsh. I like this one. The Todd father. That's actually quite funny. But Enzo's in. What do you make of this deal with Egal for Chelsea? Another massive signing, a hugely talented player. Give us your thoughts, mate.
Yo, they Chelsea are not joking around. You got to give them credit. They're signing a lot of good players. They're signing a lot of young players. They're all they need is like a couple of their cheaper signings to hit, and some of these more expensive signings to hit. And they're going to be back next season competing for the top 4 and back at the top of the table. They're going to probably only have one off season this season, and then next season you're going to see them by the end of next season back in the mix for top 4 competing. I don't think Chelsea's rebuild is going to take long at all. But the question you have to ask is, how long is it going to take for them to gel? That's it.
There's a super chat that says, I'll bring it up. It says, but if they flop, then they're in a big problem, paying them salary for 8 years. This smells. It's not the same as Barcelona, but it's the same kind of risk factor in terms of this has to work. This has to work, because otherwise they are going to be doing a lot of rejuggling, rebuilding all over again. If these guys in, let's say, 3 to 5 years time don't hit their peaks. If these guys all flop, I'm not saying they will, but if these guys all flop, it's going to be a terrible time for Chelsea. But this is why it's exciting. The risk and high risk, high reward, right? The risk is high, but if they get it going, it's going to be long. I said when Bowley got in there that their man are going to not mess around. Fam, David,
is it high risk though? The money is risk, but like they're actually saving themselves from missing out on the player in the summer. So they're literally beating everyone to the punch.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
the
overpaying,
only
but they're beating everyone to the punch.
yeah, I mean, the overpaying is a spectrum in a sense of when you guys bought Ben White. Now I know it was 50 million, but
We
Ben White
overpaid.
wasn't. If Ben White had just won Young Player of the World Cup, he would have been more than 50 million quid. When you signed Ben White, everyone said you overpaid, but now no one mentioned. When was the last time someone, barring when you guys say you don't spend, when was the last time somebody brought up Ben White's fee? They don't. When was the last time somebody
Harry
mentioned?
Maguire.
When was the last time somebody mentioned how much Bruno Fernandes cost? 67 million. They don't, because he's been a hit at Manchester United. So this is what it all comes down to. It's delivering. The only thing I would say is these players are also young. You will still be able to sell them on and make some of this money back as well. So they'll be able to balance the books, but it could go wrong if they all flops and they don't progress and they don't move forward. But yeah, look, they've done some tremendous business here. Todd Miller here says, good time to have the name Todd. Yeah, Todd's not been a fashionable name for a long time, my old mate, and it seems to be now.
Oh, Chelsea fans are calling their children Todd.
They are.
You know.
This says, you lot are pissed. You can't laugh at us anymore. Look, people are going to laugh at you while you're sitting down in sort of 10th in the league, but Chelsea will definitely be back. Redneck here coming for Egal says, how about that, Egal? How about those sanctions? Is what Redneck has got to say to you. There. Look, we all get predictions wrong. We all do. All of us. There's a super chat here that says, I'm a Chelsea fan, and I can say Jorginho with in possession is brilliant. Our only issue with him was his defending and his physicality. I like him, is what God's will says. Chelsea put in a late bid for Arsenal's Jorginho. That's the genius super chat. Yeah, they hijacked Jorginho going in the other direction. Todd B had no idea he was one of them. Have you seen the footage of Cucurella talking about Jorginho? And then he realized he's gone to Arsenal.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant indeed. This is from Mateos, who says, people are too concerned about what ifs. I believe this Arsenal squad a lot more stronger than where we started at the beginning of the season. Now it looks like the squad depth is looking good. I agree with you. The what ifs, though, the what ifs are important. If we got rid of what ifs, content creating ends, because fans are meant to say what if. You know, what if we buy this guy? What if he gets injured? Oh, what if? How many times have you all done this? What if that goal went in? Oh, what if that pass came? If you got rid of that in football would be dead. Like, if you just look at it as, well, this is what happened, and there's no point reliving the past. How many of you have watched games back where you've gone, just if we'd have made that pass? Like, we've all done it. Like, what ifs are massively important in football. But Brandon, sorry, mate, go on.
Yeah, I don't feel like we're focusing in the right areas because, of course, Egal's already said, and I agree as well, Jorginho coming in is better than nobody. Jorginho is better than Lokonga as an option. But we have to start questioning the football club and the way that they do deals, because it seems to me like whoever negotiates these transfers cannot get these big money deals over the line. They failed with Mudryk, they failed with Vlahovic, they failed with Caicedo. And the problem is we're sitting top of the league. Let's say we go and win the league. For us to consistently be able to keep improving this team and to consistently be able to keep competing for the major honours, you have to keep improving the team. Now, the only way to keep improving the starting 11 at Arsenal is to spend the big money on the big name players. And if Edu can't even negotiate these big deals and we keep losing out on our main targets, it's not good enough. And then eventually it's going to end up costing us, where we're going to end up stagnating and becoming just a top 4 side again if we ain't careful. So I think that needs to be talked about a little bit more than what it is. I mean, you know,
I think you're
a lot of our fans are kind of stuck on this.
We are going to. I get that. We are going to come back to that. I just want to finish off the conversation on the Enzo stuff from it. We'll come back to Arsenal a little bit later. David, Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea. You must be buzzing.
No. Though the thing is, right, okay, we do need a midfielder, and he is a good player. I have 2 rules, and the 2 rules are, especially when it comes to transfers, is don't sign people over 100 mil, and don't buy people based off World Cup performances. He meets both of those red flags, and to me, red is not my favorite color. So I hope he balls out. I really hope he balls out because I think he is a good player, but I haven't watched enough of him to make a judgment on whether I think he's going to be good or not. And that's me being 100% honest. With Mudryk, I was the same, and I saw 20 minutes of Mudryk, and my mind was like, "Whoa, baller, get."
But don't you think your midfield has needed a player like this, someone who's dynamic, who can be useful in the offense and then also strong in defense? Like you've not had a player like that.
Yeah, no,
for a while,
I agree with that. It's just that if it was me, I personally would have done it in a different way. I wouldn't have dropped 100 mil in one person. I would have gone probably 3 transfers, done it about 40, 50 mil, and spread it across. So that way you give yourself more options and you can have, like you can cover for Gallagher and Loftus-Cheek. If Enzo Fernandez, what if Enzo Fernandez comes in and he picks up an ACL in the first game, we've still got Gallagher and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and that it can happen. I'm not saying it is going to happen because I've no idea what Enzo Fernandez's injury record is like, but we still have people behind Enzo Fernandez who aren't good enough. And that's where my biggest issue is. I would have rather done it the other way around in terms of fill the squad up with players who can contribute. So I really like the Madueke signing because he's cheap, but he improves the squad in terms of right now and in the future. I would have done it that way and then added Enzo Fernandez on top in terms of adding the extra quality. But once you had a solidified midfield, that's just me personally.
I do get that.
Record.
Yeah, but again, he's 30 mil. Oh no!
And plus he'll be a squad player, so he won't be playing week in, week
These
out.
Chelsea fans, bro, they're so ungrateful. You just dropped 120 mil on a player, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you know what? And you know what? Everyone said the same thing to me.
You can have Jorginho back if you like.
No, but I said the same thing about Lukaku. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, we only just need this one piece to fix everything," and blah blah blah.
I do hear you, David.
It could be
how
like Van
how
Dijk, though, Dave.
many of Benfica's games have you watched in the Champions League this year?
I think 1.
So I've watched all of them because this year we're obviously working with Tops. We watched a lot more Champions League. He has been electric. He's a guy that it's all back soon. The amount of cards I invested in this guy, for that game, that guy earned me points. That's why I smash KJ every week because of Enzo. Like he's a baller, bruv. He's legitimately a baller. Will he make it in the Prem? None of us know. But I have the same feeling about Enzo as I did about Haaland. He just gives me the same, like, when you certain players, same as I have with Bruno, where you look at them and you go, gonna smash it over here. Equally, the same way I felt that I had this like horrible gut feeling that Darwin and Gakpo wouldn't quite be it. I feel the opposite way about him. There is some more breaking news I want to bring to you all very quickly. Here we go for Ziyech to Paris Saint-Germain. It is a done deal. He will leave Chelsea and he will join. Deal agreed and unlocked on the loan move until June. No buy option clause included in this deal, so he will come back to Chelsea. That is done.
Unlocked.
I don't know what you
mean. I'm
mean.
Just thinking of all these new phrases, man. What the hell is unlocked and ready to go?
Olu here.
Also, says, apparently, there's a rumor, or apparently there's news drop that Doherty's contract's been terminated.
With who?
From Spurs.
Do you know what about Doherty? Right, I wouldn't be surprised. Do you know what I mean? When I saw the Doherty news today that he's joined Ati, I'm like, I bet he wins a trophy before Tottenham. I bet you he wins a trophy there before Tottenham do. But this here says El Hadj Diouf was World Cup hype. Yes, but was he balling out in the Champions League in the season leading up to it? No. Like
to me,
there's a difference.
And Cody Gakpo, that was like World Cup hype, just pure World Cup hype. I'm just not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it.
You see with Gakpo, Ram, you man love to destroy attackers at this moment in time because I actually think he actually would be decent for the Prem, but Klopp is losing his damn mind.
We didn't need him, KJ.
You know you didn't. Let's what, Terry, can we talk about Liverpool? Let's talk about Liverpool, please.
We'll come to them.
Let
me do these super chats first, and then we'll get to him. Otherwise, the super chats will then be out of sync with the conversation. How can you say they fouled with Caicedo when Brighton have said he wasn't for sale and Vlahovic didn't entertain Arsenal as a negotiating team? How are we meant to progress? Look, I would just say on this one really quickly, there is no such thing as not for sale. Ask Todd Bowley. Like, there's no such thing as not for sale.
Chelsea attempts and we're outdoing Arsenal in transfers.
Can I just say as well, right? The reason why we failed with Caicedo And I know they say, like the club say, he wasn't for sale. We didn't give ourselves enough time to negotiate that deal. We decided to go in for the player within 72 hours of the deadline window. Like, that just makes no sense to me. If you're in for that kind of player and you know it's going to be tough to negotiate, at least do it like a couple of weeks before. But it was never a priority, and that's why we've ended up, in panic buy stations again. And that's what happens
Listen,
at us.
at least we got someone, unlike last year where we left ourselves with nobody. We got 3 players in this window.
That is true. Very, very
Chelsea,
true indeed.
by the way, Chelsea have done us everyone a massive favour in this window, because they've completely and utterly decimated the myth that you can't sign players in January. Just go and pay the money. It's not that difficult. And this is why I'm so frustrated about Arsenal, because like the club backed Mikel Arteta when we was 15th. They backed him when we was 8th. They backed him when we finished 5th. And now's the time to really back him when he's in a title race.
And they bid 60 and 90 million euros. They backed him. We couldn't get the deal over the line.
Yeah, because our negotiation skills are not
Chelsea
good enough.
But you can't mention backing.
Chelsea offered 100. Just match.
Backing is no. Chelsea and the president of Shakhtar said it live on camera. Arsenal and Chelsea have the same money. Chelsea were prepared to pay the player more wages, and they offered better terms. So they were getting the money to Shakhtar quicker than Arsenal were. He literally said it on camera. Like, so all the journalists said what they said, and then the guy that runs Shakhtar went, "Oh, this is what happened," and it is what it is. But I would also say the Vlahovic deal was very different, because with Vlahovic, you guys messed up with that by bidding before the player agreed. If you hadn't have done that, and you made it so public, that's when the L was on that one. And a few of our clubs have done it. When you make it public, it doesn't come off. It's terrible.
That's also where we've held the L in this window as well, though, Terry, because it's a similar thing. We held the L with Vlahovic by bidding for him and making it so public before we'd agreed personal terms with him. But we've dug ourselves a hole in this window because we made it very, very clear that we had 100 million euros to spend, because we dropped it on Mudryk and didn't get the deal over the line. So
no, I hear you on that. This one here says the Enzo deal hurts a lot as a United fan. In my opinion, he will be the next Kroos, best number 8 in the world. He would have been our new modern day Scholesy. Pain is what YUFC says. Long time no see, my friend. I'm glad you're here. Sasko says Chelsea don't have a plan. Talk is nonsense. The first few signings were a mistake under TT, but everything from there on in is calculated through and through. It has been. There is a definite target in a particular kinds of players. There's a lot of Arsenal super chats. We're going to come back to these a little bit later in the show when we come back to talking about them. This one here says Badashil is an underrated signing. Yeah, he's looked really good so far. There's no doubt about it. There are other
Terry, the real signing, I'm telling you now, Andre Santos. I love that kid already. I haven't even seen him play. That's the next one. He's the next one.
I love it when David hypes something up. Oh my God, the joy from seeing the panelists' faces just drop, the pure deflation. My star boy is what random user says. There's another super chat that says, check out FB Ref. It's crazy. 99s all around. Okay, thank you. Already read that one out. I'm not in the right order here. That one I already had. Sorry, I don't want to miss any of these. Milton here said Enzo was seen as a good player before the World Cup. Rafa told Man United to get him last summer because because he was going to be a star. That's very, very true. Chelsea have outspent every single club in all 5 major leagues on the continent put together. Incredible. What I will say to Chelsea fans is expect this to drop, though. What you might find for the next 2 years is that you're one of the lowest spenders, and then you'll average it out over 3 years, and it's probably going to be about the same as most clubs. With Jorginho out, who is playing the 6 role alongside Enzo? Who would you put in there, David?
Kovacic, I guess. But we're reaching at that point. We don't really have one. I don't know. I guess you have like Enzo and Kovacic, and one goes and one stays. I guess that's what we'll try and do, but I don't know.
There we.
Oh, and Kante. I forgot he exists.
Yeah, Kante most certainly is alive and well and existing, and and doing his thing. Can't pay 80 million for Caicedo. We're not Chelsea, not worth it. Do you think? I mean, do you guys agree that Caicedo is not worth 80 million, or not
Oh,
worth
hell yeah.
your club spending 80 million?
Oh, he's not worth
Oh,
that much money.
He ain't
No
worth.
way.
He ain't worth 50.
100%.
He ain't worth
100%.
50, mate.
He's
In
not
the
worth the
situation
money.
we're in, we should have paid it.
No. Yeah, that's what I would say as well. It's not that he's not, because not worth the money. I disagree with. I think his value is overinflated, and we'd be paying a high amount for him. But it depends what he's worth to the football club that he's signing for. Like, is he worth 80 million to Arsenal? I think he would be, because he offers us something that no other player can, other than Thomas Partey. I don't see another player out there who can play that role and do that job, what Thomas Partey does, as good as Caicedo can, but then also potentially be Thomas Partey's future replacement as well, because he's still young enough. So to me, yeah, just pay the money, Arsenal. But, you know.
Yeah, I agree. The whole worth it thing is not. I mean, most players are sold above their market value. His market value is around 30 million. But it's about what you're willing to pay, and everybody ends up paying over the odds for people, and it just depends how they deliver for you. This here says, sick to death of billionaires inflating player costs is what Give It to Mickey has got to say. This super chat says, Liverpool and Chelsea, same position in the league, position in terms of league position, but one club wants to compete, the other couldn't get a loan deal. Pathetic. I mean, Liverpool have had a terrible window, and I know you want to talk about it, KJ. Like, Liverpool have had a terrible, terrible window, haven't they?
Yes, pathetic. Like the super chat said, absolutely pathetic. Considering this team was on the cusp of doing a quadruple last season, you would have thought that, yeah, they would have the confidence to go again and bring in new players and support this team and support this manager. But now, fast forward 6 months, you don't know what on earth is happening with Liverpool Football Club. You don't know where they're going to be. You don't know who their owners are going to be. And you don't know what's happening with Klopp. The players they're signing don't fit. They don't match. It makes no damn sense. And when they've needed support in the midfield, they've signed attackers. Like, I'm sorry, if this is Manchester United doing this, it's all over everywhere, saying how much of a terrible club we are, how much that this is like rudderless ship. No, who's running the ship? All of these things will come up because it's Liverpool. It's fine though because Klopp. No, it's not fine, bro. I know FSG are leaving. I know, but Man United's Glazers are leaving, and we've been able to sign a striker that we've needed and a midfielder that we've needed for the position for the time that is. No one's saying to FSG or Klopp, go and sign a player for 100 million like Chelsea on an 8-year deal and they must stay there. A loan deal, 6 months, maybe with an option to buy. Like, I don't understand why Liverpool get away with so much foolishness when they are right now probably the 5th worst club in the top 6. I know they've won things, but if you look at trajectory, Arsenal look better. Man United look better. Chelsea look better. Man City would always look better. You're there sitting there with Spurs looking like dead food for the next 4 years.
You mean 6th?
Their owners are
6th,
checked
KJ, not 5th. Let's be real.
No. To be fair, you and
no,
Spurs
man, stop it,
bro. Let's be honest.
You know what makes me annoyed? I said this on the group chat. The guy that I wanted Liverpool to sign last season, he didn't even cost a lot of money. He's wearing United colors. I don't think United needed him as much as we needed him. Like that's how stupid this whole thing is. And then on Twitter they come out and say, we're gonna look into all the big clubs around Europe and see if any players surplus the requirements, and we'll go in for a loan deal. What a load of bollocks! Because literally, there's one staring at you right in the face, and he's gone to Manchester United, and we didn't even bother going after him. It's just all a load of bollocks, man. It's a load of bollocks. This club, the manager as well has to take some blame. Everybody, the DOF, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're meant to be scouting these players. You're meant to be looking out for possible availabilities on all these players. Find the best deals, and you're not even doing that. Go away, Terry, man. I don't like this, man. I don't know what to say. I'm at a loss of words. It even hurts that the player that I wanted is playing for Man United instead of my own club. Bro.
You were the first person. You were the first person I thought of when the Sabitzer news came out, because I'm like, I know Ram loves this guy, legitimately loves this guy, and I just thought to myself, poor old Ram. He's going to have to see basically his favorite player, where outside of Liverpool, of course, wearing a Manchester United shirt, donning the badge, and who knows, with the way you're playing and the way we're playing, maybe even dunking on you at your ground.
Anfield.
Oh, mate, that would just like tip it off. That would just tip it absolutely off. I hope it happens, mate, because it couldn't happen. It couldn't happen. Barring not you, you're lovely, but it couldn't happen to a nicer bunch.
That's true, to be fair.
But do you know what's even more annoying? I don't understand. From what we're hearing of all the LFC journalists, Bellingham is the truth. Bellingham is going to be the answer to everything. And I'm like, this is going to be a setup for failure. Because one, if we don't get him, then what do we do? And two, if we do get him and he doesn't turn out to be the next coming of flipping Steven Gerrard, what are we going to do then? Literally, we're not going after. This is not Joshua Kimmich. This is not, what's it called? Frankie de Jong or Leon Goretzka. It's Bellingham, a guy that hasn't got as much experience as those players, who's only won a DFB Pokal in his whole career, hasn't got past a Champions League quarter-final. And we're putting all our baskets onto him. Yes, he is an incredibly talented player, one of the best talented players in the world. But to ask him to carry this entire midfield, nah.
I'm just gonna say a few names. And what do they have in common? Tell me. Jadon Sancho, Kylian Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, Chouameni. What do they all have in common, Ram? Please tell me what they have in common.
They're all talented.
No, that is true. But what they have in common is these have been the guys that every time FSG and Liverpool flop a transfer window, it's don't worry, because next summer, that guy, we're getting that guy. Kai Havertz is one of them as well. Timo Werner, another one. That is all. It always happens, man.
And irrespective of whether they worked out, these are all big signings. But this is look at this article that the Liverpool Echo put out today. Liverpool Echo put out. Liverpool have all their eggs in Jude Bellingham's basket. That's what that comes out on the 31st. That comes out on the 31st of January. And the gullible, and by the way, all fan bases have gullible fans who believe the PR. You can see it all the time. They're angry, and then a little statement comes out and goes, "Oh, actually, it's all okay now." No, generally, your gut first reaction is the right one. Generally, and if you think a player's good, you're like, "Yeah." It shouldn't need. My view is this: if you need another man to write an article to make you change your mind regularly, I question your capacity as a man. Have your own brain. So when you see a deal go through in transfers, or you see we're not going to buy anybody, your initial reaction of that just isn't right. If some journalist at the Liverpool Echo could write an article to say, we're going to come big next year, there's this economical issue and this problem, but by the way, we're giving to food banks at the same time. If you then go, oh, actually, I get where you're coming from now, I'm going to be okay with it. You're not a man. You're not a man. You are not a man if you're that easily and I'm not talking once or twice. These certain Liverpool fans, communist Reds, they are convinced. Their initial reaction is always anger, and then they're convinced by these crazy articles. But I've got one other thing to show you, Ram. I've got this other thing to show you, Ram. Look at this. This is beautiful. That's a thing of beauty, isn't it? It's a thing of beauty, Ram. It's a thing of beauty, that. I love it. Look at that. Beautiful, man. Beautiful, man. And we've got a good history of players with long hair at Man United, barring Forlan. But by the way, Enzo Fernandez's contract is 8.5 years with a 1-year option to extend.
9.5 years.
Hey, Dave, why are you celebrating? I thought you didn't want this guy in your team.
Hey. regardless of what I think, I'm strapped in. I'm in for the ride. Todd B experience. Choo choo. Let's go. I'm here. I'm ready for it.
9.5
Choo, choo,
years.
choo. But you know what? That's also why. That's also why they're signing players that want to go there, because the one, especially for young footballers, securing your future is so important. They know, like Enzo knows now. He's what, 21? Is he 21?
Yeah.
21,
20.
22.
He knows that he is
Yeah.
sorted until he's 30, basically. For a lot of players, you could be 21 and get a good deal at 50 grand a week, which sounds a lot of money, but after tax and all your expenses, if you broke your leg 2 years into that, like you never earn your full potential. No one's going to turn these deals down, because it's like, yeah, they go, there's 120 grand a week, right? For 8-9 years. That's your life sorted. Even if tomorrow, God forbid, he broke his leg and can never play again, he's sorted. Then no one's going to say no to these deals. Nobody ever would. You'd be an idiot. It's like when managers get offered 7-year deals, but go, why'd you sign it? Why wouldn't you? Like, why would you not sign it and be guaranteed that money? It's crazy.
Yeah, the
So,
compensation
yeah.
if you get sacked is mad.
Oh, it's gargantuan. We've got some more super chats I want to do here. Some from earlier. One says, plenty of players, Bundesliga players have flopped. There's no guarantees. Ask Chelsea fans. However, I do think he's an ideal 8 with Casemiro playing 6, is what Joshua Loveless has got to say. Thank you, Josh. Obviously talking about the brilliant Sabitzer. I'm dying inside at how rivals signing a midfielder. Our Klopp is out here twerking for FSG. Inshallah, we get Qataris and they sack Klopp. Wow. Love that. He has better stats. Talking here about Jorginho, he has better stats than Partey this season. Why are you crying? I have looked at those stats. He has better tackles, better interceptions, passing, everything. So that is true. Again, I rate J5. I think he's really, really good.
I think they just play the game in a different way, which means it will kind of like...
Yeah. David says, as an Arsenal fan, it's disappointing to see Jorginho come in, but Arteta has a method to his madness. Would rather have Caicedo, but can't complain. I think that's a fair one there, David.
That's exactly what I think. Anyways, I'm out of here, guys.
Here's Egal, top man for coming on, brother. Speak to you soon. Thank you.
Yeah,
Arteta has wanted Jorginho for 3+ seasons. Watch the interview. Mikel is gassed to have him at Arsenal. He is far better than we may think. Love the show. Thank you very much. Searching for Smithy. Jorginho is enough main central midfielder in the summer. Caicedo or Rice. Listen, DJ, I know you mentioned, I think you're right. And where me and Egal got it earlier is I wasn't even challenging his opinion. I was trying to understand what it was he was saying, because it wasn't clear to me. Because Egal does answer like a politician. And he knows I'd said it to his face if he was here as well. That's fine. But my question is, if you don't win the league now, will you look back at this January window and go, we did? Again, it all depends on how people play. By the way, if Jorginho, Trossard are amazing and it's other players that let you down, it's a different conversation. But it's just, look, fans are always going to ask you those questions. But thank you for the super chat. Just a stupid window. Trossard is good. I don't like J5, but trust Arteta. If we don't win the league, Edu and Arteta have to put themselves in a position to get mad abuse. If we win it, we will need a CDM injury. If we win it, we will need a CDM injury. We not get a CDM injury, I think is what you mean. Edu and Arteta must have a plan this window. Fingers crossed. El Neni injured. Lokonga out on loan. Who is the CDM cover if he gets out injured? Well, it's J5, but a different way of playing, isn't it? Rivals laugh now. Jorginho will prove you all wrong. Sorry, go on, Bran.
Did you know this as well? I don't know. It's not actually official, but apparently Arsenal have offered El Neni another 12-month contract extension. Jesus. Because they feel sorry for the guy because he's injured. What a load of rubbish.
That's something that Liverpool would do, man. The hell?
Yeah. It's the same old stuff.
Integrity. What's wrong with integrity in football? Where has it gone, Terence? Look at me.
You have to be on the pitch, KJ, to show that integrity.
It's never existed. Dyke here says Enzo, Felix, Mudryk, and how do you pronounce that name? Is it
Madueke
versus West Ham? I mean, that's what's starting to be. That's the one thing with Chelsea. And by the way, if they do click, if this Chelsea team click, I don't think they'll make top 4. But I have predicted today on my Bleacher Report show Chelsea to finish 5th in front of Tottenham. Yep. Spottenham are sinking. If you're a young and talented footballer and want an 8-year death row contract, sign with Chelsea. I now know what that is because I researched it. Maybe FSG is like we are selling. Why should we invest in the team? Plus 1 bad season in compared to 5 good ones.
Do you know what? It doesn't make any sense because surely if we don't get Champions League football, the value of the club goes down and they get less money in selling the club. So it makes no sense at all.
And also, it's not their money. No one's asking FSG to put money in. Spend the club's money.
Yeah.
Spend the club's money. Man United are different. We're out. We're broke. We're broke because they wasted it all over these years. But yeah. Don't you think these long-term contracts are risky? What if players have a career-threatening injury? Yeah, you have insurance for that, though, bro. You just have insurance for it. So
again, I know it doesn't really link to that super chat, but it does. I think Havertz is going to look like a lot better player now, personally, just because I've always said he needs runners and people around him who are going to do a lot of the legwork for him, and we've kind of sealed up all those positions. So
there's actually one player we should actually ask about. What's going to happen with Mason Mount?
Yeah, get him out. No, don't get him
on a serious, on a serious, Mason Mount.
Stop it. He's Chelsea.
Ram, you're laughing.
He's proper
Chelsea.
Laughing. No, he's proper Chelsea, bro.
No, you're laughing, but it actually kind of makes sense. He actually is a player that would actually suit your team.
He'll be an agent and cost us. He'll be an agent. He'll play against us.
He suits Liverpool to a T. He's an untalented midfielder who does loads of running.
He's proper Chelsea. Against us.
That's what he is. That's what he is. He is as good as Wijnaldum.
No, stop it. No,
he's as good as Wijnaldum. He's as good as Wijnaldum.
Love it.
No, David.
Love it.
No.
Love it.
That's
love it.
Right, David.
He's
right.
as good as Wijnaldum.
No
love
way.
El Neni in 2023 is a version of Grimaldi. Jeez. Makes sense to trigger El Neni's contract to sell him.
Oh, to protect his value and all that. Yeah.
Brandon ain't having none of it, boy. And today's not the day.
The problem is with the PR is that all our clubs do it, and it's just I'm so surprised people haven't. I get we all want to defend our clubs, and when your club's doing well, there's always a propensity. But that was one I used to get bought into, and I remember talking about that when I joined the finance department that deals with this at Barclays. And I remember saying that to them, and I remember like one of the bosses just looked at me, old school bankers as well, none of this PC stuff. He just looked at me and said, "You fucking stupid." I was like, "No, I'm not stupid. I'm just young." I think that's literally what I said. I'm just young. I don't know. He went, "It's just dumb. It's not why clubs do it." And I was like, "Right, okay." But there we go. Off topic. The weirdest transfer is Hazard to PSV on loan. Meanwhile, neither Ajax or PSV ain't winning the league. It's between Feyenoord and AZ. Oh, is that Hazard's little brother? I thought you meant Fat Hazard.
Thorgan, yeah.
Thorgan Hazard, yeah.
Maybe, okay, I already put that one up. Terry, who bought more players, Chelsea or Forest? Oh.
I think Forest just edged it.
Forest bought more players than
Liverpool. In this window, altogether. Because if you talk about altogether, Forest destroys everyone.
Yeah.
They bought like a whole squad. Yeah. This window, how many have they signed? They just signed Keylor Navas. I know that for sure.
They just signed Felipe.
Oh no! What about the progression of Henderson?
Oh, listen. Henderson is pissed, boy. Imagine speaking all that was in the summer. You go to this club, you're playing, you get injured, and they're like, right, let's bring in an older, more experienced Champions League winning goalkeeper to replace you. Like, it's peak, bruv. It's peak.
By the way, that goalkeeping depth is ridiculous. By the way, that goalkeeping depth is genuinely a joke.
Yeah, I know. Laddie, long time no see, Laddie. Hope you're well, mate. He says Enzo will be fine. I still think Potter ain't it, but now he can say he doesn't have the tools. This is the one thing now. He's been bought a lot of players, and I don't expect them to click. But I mean, in fairness, even against Fulham, though, before Felix got sent off, you were playing okay, and you've got even more there now. Plus, you're going to have those 11 odd players start coming back from injury. I think Chelsea are going to be all right, I think Chelsea are going to be okay. I've always felt that.
They're going to be fine.
I've always felt that. Martin here says, Brandon wanted us to let Nketiah go on a free too.
I did. He's not wrong.
100K instead.
Pretty much, most Arsenal fans did, but he's here proving us wrong. And
so by that logic, Martin, so you think El Neni next season is gonna be like Casemiro?
Damn.
Like that's the one thing with it. Like just because, again, I understand that I understand giving El Neni a new contract if you're like he'll be our 5th choice midfielder and he's there to back up the backup. That makes sense. But when you hear reports, and it's the first time I've heard it from you, Brendan, like he's getting a new deal because like through sentiment, that's crazy. Like you've got to believe in the player. Or like if you've got next season Partey, Jorginho, Xhaka, and you sign Rice, the 5th choice backup should be a young player who's coming in. You don't like give that opportunity to a young person to be bled in and be around. That's what I would personally do.
Yeah, but he is the best Egyptian in the league at the moment, isn't he? You know, it's better
this
than
is
that.
true.
Salah.
Well, Salah's awful right now. Salah is terrible right now.
Salah is dropping
all I'm saying
Eden Hazard
is
standard.
the Aubameyang effect. That's all I'm going to say in it.
I'm telling you, Eden Hazard. He
I
wants.
can't be asked.
He
I mean,
wants
I'm
top
not even
one.
backing the
Yeah,
guy.
but
The only
he
guys
wants
I'm
top
backing
one.
is Alisson. That's it, man. I don't care about everybody else. You can
Well,
you can say whatever the hell
not
you
even
want.
Van Dijk. Not even
Van Dijk is injured, man, and he's
not
having the
even
Hummels effect.
not
He's
even
having the Hummels
Alexander
effect.
Arnold.
Liverpool have strippers for defenders, bro. Like that's how bad it is right now. Them man
Hey,
have to
Joe.
twerk more than actually defend.
Hey,
You
Joe,
know
how-
whatever it is,
And
bro.
now,
You know
and
how
now
quickly, how
go on.
quickly things can change in football as well, because Arsenal are like Liverpool of 2 years ago, and Liverpool are like Arsenal like 3 years ago. Like just dead
know,
and
it's-
buried.
it's-
Like,
bro.
nothing going on. It's weird.
It's crazy. Like a year ago, all we got online was people abusing Man United to do crap. Now we're getting abused because we're good. It's amazing. Like it's nice, and we haven't even done anything yet. But it looks like we are going to have Newcastle, by the way, people. In case anyone missed it in the final, there's no way we're getting beat 4-0 tomorrow night by Forest. Like that isn't happening. So it'll be Newcastle, Man United, and for anyone wondering, Bruno Guimaraes will be available to play. When you get straight red cards, they carry across all domestic competitions. There's only 2 yellows and with a red card where it's in the same comp. That's the weirdest rule I've ever
Really?
seen in my life. Yeah, well, that's according to I've read that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
someone sent it to me,
Oh,
but
thought it was
I
awesome.
think it's to stop like say if you get a red card, you got 3-game ban in one competition, but then you get knocked out like at the start of one, and 2 years later, you have to wait till the next time you can play. Like I think it's to do with that. That's what I assume anyway.
yeah, theoretically, you could go 3 seasons without being able to play in the League Cup because that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. But it's going to be look, Man United Newcastle's a really good final. You've got like the fallen giants trying to rise back up, and then you've got the sort of the new lottery winners who are trying to become a giant team, like going up against it. It's going to be an interesting one. And a few people are saying don't disrespect. Yeah, I know Brentford beat us 4-0. If you think Man United is one, we're at Old Trafford, and 2, if you think we're the same Man United team and that Forest are as good as that Brentford side, come on now. I'm going to say something a bit crazy. Why can't FSG and Klopp go to Juventus and get Rabiot? Juve are getting ransacked. Every player is leaving.
That stinks.
I don't oppose that because our midfield is shizer, bro.
You know what,
our levels at the bottom is it's literally in hell. Our levels at hell is in hell.
Yeah, you know
Anything
what?
is better than nothing, man. Come on.
Rabiot would be good and it'll wake people up because my man's so toxic that people would start to shape up again. Because how is Fabinho and Thiago and Henderson all slacking? It's a disgrace. They need something different. You're right, Ram. Bring in Rabiot. You got 20 minutes.
I mean, not that way of thinking, but okay, yes. And someone is better than what we have so far. We are in the gutter. Anyone would be good, man. Well,
You are in the mud. You are in the mud. I love it. I love it.
Terry, we're in quicksand.
Do you know what was starting to annoy me about Liverpool? Do you know what was starting to annoy me about some Liverpool fans? You weren't one of them, to be fair, but legitimately, one thing that was annoying me was how Liverpool fans would sit there and talk football. But you could tell by the way they express things, the look on their face, and what they said is that because my football team is good, it means I know more about football than you, which is the strangest logic a human being could ever have. It's not like I would take this if Bill Gates said I'm better at making money than you, Terry. I'd go, yeah, that's very true. You are. But like if I watch what program can I watch where someone's rich and famous and makes loads of money? Give me a program where someone's
The Apprentice.
Apprentice.
The Dragon's Den.
If I watch the Dragon's Den or The Apprentice, that doesn't give me all. And I'm a massive fan of it, and it's my favorite show in the world. It's the show that I back the most. That doesn't give me authority to give you financial advice. That's like football fans. Like some football fans have great knowledge, but you don't have great knowledge because your football team is good. It's a weird warped concept for me.
But isn't that with every team? Like, well, even some Arsenal fans have that right now. Not Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon's
Yeah,
good.
no,
Brandon's good.
I do agree. I do agree. I don't think it's exclusive to Liverpool fans. I think that there's a gooner that comes on the terrace regularly now, and the way he talks is like everything I say is because I'm a god. It's what my team did, and it's like you're right. It worked for your team, but your team's approach isn't going to be the same for other clubs. Like everyone's going to operate in different ways. There's more than one way to skin a cat. But yeah, no, I do agree. I do agree.
Yeah.
Arsenal fans has upgraded since the windows. Sorry, Arsenal fan has upgraded since the window's opening. Facts, but the midfield at 6 and 8 needs to seriously be addressed in the summer, and then we are set. Is what Joshua Lovelace says. Sorry, KJ, you were going to speak.
Yeah, because there's only like 15 minutes left until the window closes. I think it's time, personally, for the ranking of the top 6 on this January transfer window. Personally, you know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Can
So
we skip Liverpool saying that they're bottom?
no, we're just going to say who's bottom.
Liverpool.
Actually, wait. Actually, no. Man City.
Man City are bottom. They didn't sign anyone.
Yeah,
Let
Man
someone
City.
go. At least you got Guffpo.
Huh? Who?
Guffpo. Guff's a fart. Guffpo.
Right. Brilliant.
Yeah.
First Gakpo, now Guffpo.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, City. Yeah,
Guffpo, yeah. City are bottom. Although I still think I don't know. Yeah, City bottom. They signed.
no, they didn't sign anyone, and they lost Cancelo.
Yeah, we can't speculate that it's going to make them better because there was problems in dressing room. We don't know any of that. So they didn't sign anyone, and they let a player go. So City are bottom. Second bottom,
Liverpool.
Yeah, it's got to be because
It's not Tottenham. It's not.
Who did-
Tottenham
who
actually
did-
signed
who
some
did-
decent players.
Who did Spurs sign?
they signed
don't know.
Danjuma
And
Danjuma.
Danjuma.
Oh, I mean,
Porro's decent though. There's a good buy, better than what.
yeah,
they've
he's
got.
exclusively a wing back though. I guess. I mean, I understand where it suits Conte.
They've got what's his name?
If
Chicken Royale.
Conte leaves,
Yeah, Spurs have got to be
We'll see
third
what happens.
bottom or fourth in that way.
Yeah,
Who's top 3 now? Who would come third?
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Really?
Why Arsenal?
Then United. Then Chelsea.
Why would
Yeah,
United? Why would United be? Sorry.
Because-
So Ram, why would Arsenal be? Why would Arsenal be below United?
Because United signed some pretty decent players. I don't need to say much about Sabitzer and Weghorst. I think people are really underrated. I said this last season as well. I think Arsenal should have signed Weghorst because he would have given something different. But clearly, Nketiah has been doing his thing this season, so it don't matter. But the players that you signed, they're good players, and Arsenal, I think, it's very close between these two. But I think I'll give United just that little bit of an edge because they needed it. They needed to do something, and they did it.
I get that, but one of our signings is a goalkeeper in Jack Butland, like great FIFA and Football Manager legend, but in real life hasn't lived up to his potential as a backup goalkeeper. So you've got Weghorst and Sabitzer versus Trossard, that Polish lad. Is it Kowar?
Oh, I thought about
Kivior. Kivior and Trossard. Kivior is someone that no one knows what to expect from this kid. You know what I mean? No one knows how well he's going to do. So cool. So really and truly, you can say it's like Weghorst and Trossard versus Sabitzer and Jorginho. Weghorst and Sabitzer versus Trossard and Jorginho. I think Trossard and Jorginho take it.
I think I'd pick Weghorst and Sabitzer, even though again I don't personally rate Sabitzer that highly. I would.
Do you know what?
But I mean for United, I think he's all right. But for United, I don't see.
What I would say though is that when Sabitzer was linked to Man United, so I would say Trossard got more of a buzz from Arsenal fans than Weghorst did. But when the Sabitzer news came out, United fans were buzzing, and Gooners were saying, "I wish we got him instead." So it's kind of like 1-1 on that score. However,
I don't understand.
What do you mean?
Why Arsenal fans said they should have got him over Jorginho? Two completely different players.
Yeah,
I don't think they need him.
I think their point of view is they'd rather him be a midfield backup than Jorginho. I think it's also the Chelsea connection, the bad luck of signing Chelsea players. But for me, I think Arsenal have signed enough to win them the league. Therefore, I would put them above Man United, even though I think we've signed enough to make top 4. I just think the significance is going to have on their team.
And plus 2 Premier League proven players. Like Weghorst obviously had a poor time at Burnley, but it was Burnley. He started off okay. And Sabitzer, we've never seen outside of the Bundesliga. So, I think Man United come third.
Although, like low key, I'm really confident that they're both going to work out. Like Weghorst, I've been really impressed with him and could be good deals. So I would put United third, Arsenal second, and because Chelsea have pulled off Enzo, it's not just because of Enzo. It's Enzo. It's Felix.
Terry. Let's call it for what it is. The greatest January transfer window we have ever seen in our lives. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's sensational.
Biggest.
By the way, a few people, someone says clip these fools. What do you mean clip these fools? We put Arsenal in second on one. Where do you want to go first? Like
again, I said touch and go.
A few people are saying Man United's are loans. Yeah, but there's loans with options to buy. So they're actually better. Imagine you could loan an option to buy everyone you ever buy. That means that way you're never going to you never lose money because you know if they're good enough or not. Cal here says, could argue being below Liverpool, honestly, 2 loans with the money we bring in is disgraceful. Game-changing stadium and all that. Can tell it's eating into the summer budget already, along with Kulu. Yeah, I mean Spurs. Is Pedro Porro alone?
Yeah, it's a loan with
totally with an obligation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a purchase then, essentially. So, yeah, you're gonna have to do it in the end. Sorry, I meant Eze, is what you said there. Thank you very much indeed. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Chelsea's window is just crazy. When you look at it, I'm actually going to go on to, but it isn't officially complete yet, so they won't update the transfermarket.com that lists them all. But yeah, that deal was just a madness. I'm still waiting as well, by the way, just to see like an official picture of Sabitzer. But then I don't even think we have to complete it tonight because it's a loan.
We don't have to announce today. We just have to complete it like logistically, legally today.
Yeah, I would just like it tomorrow. I would just like a little holding tweet, little something.
Yeah, even
is
if
it
it's even a leak.
though?
No, even a leak. I just want to see a leaked photo of him doing this.
I want to see him. I want to see him sitting at the piano, getting ready to play. Do you know what I mean? I want to see.
You're talking about announcements. Have you noticed over the years how like how smaller and smaller the production value of Man United's announcements have become since
you can't do it. Listen, I love Pogba and Stormzy, but just don't put that pressure on yourself. This is Sabitzer has no buy options. I read that he does.
He does.
Right?
It's been mixed, Terry. It's been mixed. So, like Ornstein, Fabrizio all say no buy options. Other people say there is. I assume that there's not, but
I'm just going to go with the 2 journalists who broke the news originally. I'm going to go with what they say, just because I like to go with the originator. Same as Spurs last summer. You win nothing. In the window. Very true. Very true. I used to watch Sabitzer since his Rapid Vienna days. I'm Austrian, by the way. I'm going to say he isn't that great. He's okay at best. He won't set United alight.
I'm not going to lie. When I watch him, he reminds me of, I don't want to say it, but he does remind me a lot of Conor Gallagher. And
but
you
know what? Yeah.
But
Conor Gallagher at Chelsea or Conor Gallagher at Palace?
Conor Gallagher at both. Because to be honest, Conor Gallagher went through a purple patch at Palace, but he is just a player who runs quite a lot and doesn't pass very often. And Sabitzer is very similar, and he shoots from really weird positions. Hopefully, if Ten Hag coaches that out of him, then obviously that point is me.
I think that's for me the factor is like one, we actually need a player like him in the midfield because we've got Fred. He's just not that great on the ball, and I would trust Sabitzer to be better on the ball than Fred. And then 2, I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, I love Ten Hag, innit? I give him wood, and I believe he will make him amazing. Like that's just the way that I feel about this manager. The way that he can coach.
What's his name? Geppetto. Give him some wood, and he'll create you a boy.
Give him flipping Pinocchio, bro.
Man's Geppetto out here. Best transfer is Sean Dyche to Everton. Yeah.
Listen,
I'm glad Dyche's back. I'm glad Dyche's back.
Wait, did Andre Ayew complete his transfer to Everton? Did that actually happen?
I don't know.
I really hope it did.
Because if it did, that club
That's-
is finished.
It's
That
so
club
Everton,
is
isn't it?
gone.
It's so
They're gone.
Everton. It's so Everton, man. No, Sean Dyche's keeping them up. I'm telling you now.
No,
Look at the team.
David.
No, Ram. Look at the team.
No.
Look at the team. Think about it. Pickford. Can you get more Brexit ball than that? I don't think you can. Chris, what's his
I swear
name?
Sean
Can
Dyche
you-
got Burnley relegated.
Can you imagine in about like 3 years' time, we're going to look at this Everton squad and it's just going to be all pal guys with gingery hair and shit. And it'd be
That's
like,
what I'm
he's done
saying.
it again.
Calvert-Lewin is Chris Wood, but light skin.
Have you seen, by the way, that brilliant video from Dr. Phil where like an army general, bald head, gingery beard, looks a bit like Sean Dyche, and it's on Dr. Phil, and his son comes out as now his daughter for the first time. It's a reveal of her being trans, and she kind of walks over and he's kind of looking and he's like half smiling, half crying. He doesn't know what to do, and someone titled it when Dominic Calvert-Lewin turns up for training for the first time and Sean Dyche sees him. And I died with laughter because at first I was like, "What does he mean?" And I remembered how he dresses, and I would play the video, but it's Dr. Phil will probably get a copyright strike. Honestly, I was dying. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life because the guy was like, "Oh hi, hi, oh nice, oh." It's just like he was crying and laughing at the same time, and I was like, "That is funny, proper funny." The Arsenal list here says Erik ten Hag and Arteta will bring the best out of their new signings. They wouldn't get those players and not make them look better. Well, that's the hope. I mean, the thing is, I thought Sabitzer. I didn't watch him at Rapid, but no, Munich. He hasn't really done. But at Leipzig, he was really good. And sometimes it's horses for courses. Sometimes the one thing that's good is he's not been at Bayern Munich for 4 or 5 years and kind of dwindled away. It's been 18 months. So there's more chance of sort of reigniting the fire in him. But equally, we just need 4 or 5 months. We need 4 or 5 months, and you're hoping, do you know what I mean, to be good. Outside of that, I don't really care. Like, if he's not quite good enough, you just don't have to sign him in the summer, you know? Just do what he's got to do. Terry Sabitzer announcement incoming. Okay. Says who? And that's not the thing.
You already got him.
As long as your Ram is so depressed over here.
He's actually so depressed.
As long as I see Sabitzer 15 or 24, I'm happy. If I see that man in the 7 shirt, he wore 7 at he wore 7 at Leipzig, innit? So like, I
Why
don't
not?
want bruv. We need a break from the 7. It needs to be until the summer.
No one's everyone. I know Fab said it's done. Yeah. That was like 6 hours ago, bro. Everyone, including Ronaldo when he returned, that's worn that 7 shirt since Ronaldo left. When they put that shirt on, it's they've had a few good moments, but it's essentially killed them. Even like Antonio Valencia, he was balling out until he put the 7 shirt on.
Yeah, he died. He died that one season, and he had to switch back. He said, "Give me back the 25, boy. Give me it back."
I heard the rumor. That's why Sancho ran off to the mountains. He was told he'd been given the 7 shirt, and he ran off. He left the country. But he's back tomorrow night. Sancho is back tomorrow night. I'm so excited.
Marcel back too. All right, listen. I just want to see both of them on for 25 minutes. That's what I need from them, and I'm going to be a happy man. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be good times. Good times. I reckon Ronaldo judged that 7 shirt so badly that he didn't expect it to hurt himself when he came back to United with it. Like, that's how bad he judged the thing, bruv. He got lessons from Pogba, innit? Allegedly.
Very hyenas.
It's crazy. Man United went from Brian Robson to Cantona to Beckham to Ronaldo. That's 4 on the bounce who are beyond club legends, and all of them are legends of football. Since then, like, the 7 shirts died at United, and it is one of our most iconic shirts. United fans would argue the number 11 shirt's iconic at United with Best and Giggs. The number 10 shirt is very iconic. The number 9 shirt, of course, but 18 now because of Scholes. But it's probably the 9 and 7 are, for me, the 2 most iconic shirt numbers in the world. And to not have someone who wears that shirt and owns it at Man United, it's
sad. It's sad, man. It's sad. What, you and number 8? Oi, that 8 shirt again. Gerard judged the 8 shirt.
Who is your 8 now?
Naby Keita.
Baby Keita, you know. My guy, Baby Keita. 3 minutes left into the window shuts. And I'll be honest with you, I love the transfer window, but when it closes, I'm always so happy. I'm
Wait,
always
you can
so
go to
happy.
bed. You can go to sleep now. Terry, you know what? David Ram, we need to applaud this man.
There you
He's
go.
been working hella hard all flipping day. You can see it in his eyes that he's just ready to sleep, man.
I'm gonna
Thanks
go
for
watch.
all the
I'm gonna
updates.
go watch.
At least, no, but Terry, at least he had something to do today. The last couple of
guys,
deadline days have been crap.
Dave.
yeah, they have, to be fair. I said, I'm telling you guys, building a car is one of the most stressful things I have done.
He doesn't know he can hear him. David, we
Can you
can
not
hear
hear
you.
No,
Oh, we
yeah,
can't.
yeah,
Oh, we can.
I thought you were on a phone call. I thought you were phoning someone.
No, I was literally saying, like, genuinely building this car. I won't reveal that these guys know what car I'm talking about. Building a car is the most stressful thing in the world. I want my bed. I really want my bed.
It's just work for you. Like, obviously, what you do is very stressful. But yeah, like, do you know what it is? I love the transfer window because there's always stuff to talk about. But with the transfer window, it's you're always on tender hook because at any moment something can happen. When there's no transfers, I'm streaming at these times and you can just relax in between it. Nothing's going to, like, sometimes I'm like got 4 hours between a stream, but I can't just sit there and like put a box set on and turn my phone off because something might happen and I'll miss it. And that's what's stressful. KJ, are you ready for Burnley 2.0? But in blue colors, is what he says there.
You know what? Yeah,
Guess who their first game against?
If Burnley can get relegated, so can Everton.
No.
I'm just saying, guess who's Everton's first game?
Dwight McNeil. He's back.
Oh yeah, he's.
Dwight McNeil, Tarkowski. Hey, it's happening.
Michael Keane.
No,
Dwight McNeil's going to love it. Chelsea doing a madness, but what about Bournemouth? Did Bournemouth sign a lot of players this window?
They signed
they signed like two
Zaniolo.
players.
No, did they sign Zaniolo?
By the way, another
No.
question for you all and viewers. I want your views on this as well. By the way, hit the like button. Need to ask, who's winning, Jake Paul or Tommy Fury?
Jake.
Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury.
Huh?
Are you
If
guys
Tommy Fury-
right?
Wait, deadline, Terry.
It's
11 o'clock.
done. Hey, yes,
It's
the
over.
schedule-
Deadline day.
That's it. I tell you now, it's going to be great. But
Finish.
listen, all the deals got done. We know they're all done. They'll be announced in good time. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who was tuned in. We're back tomorrow. Me and Big Steve, Straight Facts, is on tomorrow. Very much looking forward to it. Everyone who has tuned in, thank you to all of you this evening. David and Ram and KJ, of course, Egal and Brandon that have left us now. Big thank you to them as well. Tommy Fury, listen, Tommy Fury has to win because he's a boxer. But this is the first boxer Jake Paul has fought. So there's so much, there's so many little nuances to this. It's going to be fun. But listen, until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon.